everybody, John12 back here again with another video, and I'm here with my official review for Dragon Ball Super Episode 43. Now, of course, if you haven't seen this episode, please go check it out because this review may contain spoilers. But that being said, let's get into the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super. Now, of course, we got another filler episode. It's pretty much filler times 11. It's right up to the max. And, of course, we won't be getting any original, official, epic episodes until we lead into our next story arc / saga, which will be coming out, I'm guessing, next month in June. And, of course, we'll be featuring a reprisal character from the past that I cannot wait to see. It's freaking awesome that he's coming back, and I'll get into that in, of course, the later half of this vlog / review. But at the end of the day, let's get into this episode, which is pretty much filler times 10 plus some more filler, equaling just a fillerific episode. It's pretty much super filler. It's fucking awesome. It's crazy. And for me personally, I've continuously have found myself to really enjoy these filler episodes, but I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. It's alright. Everyone has their own justified opinion or unjustified opinion, but regardless of any of that, I'm going to state this. I fucking love this episode, and there's one reason why. It's pretty much, when you look at it in perspective, or in retrospect rather, it's a freaking Son Goku family filler episode. That's what it is. It's a freaking Son Goku family episode. It's Goku, Chi-Chi, Goten, Gohan, Videl, Piccolo, Pan episode. And you know what? I love that shit. Nobody else loves it. If you do love it, you're lying to yourself because you don't love it. I freaking love this shit. I live for this shit. I live for these kind of filler episodes, or episodes in general, in both Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and of course Dragon Ball, even GT, and of course Dragon Ball Super. And for me personally, it's freaking awesome to see those moments. They're low-key, they're subtle, but they're right there, and they're brilliantly done because of the comedy and the subtleness of how much these characters actually do care for each other, and the way the show or animators like to present that. And I love that shit. And I know there's a lot of people out there who will disagree with that fact, because nobody likes Chi-Chi. Nobody likes, maybe even Goku. Nobody likes the Goku family. Everyone is a Vegeta Bulma obsessor, which of course is okay. And I'm right up there with that because they're awesome too, and one of the best portions of Super, as I've stated in multiple episodes, reviews. But this episode was just awesome because it gave me what I kind of really wanted, which is a very Son Goku family oriented episode. And for me personally, when you have Goku and Piccolo in a filler episode together, it is gold. It is freaking gold. Have you learned nothing from the freaking driving episode when Goku and Piccolo learn how to drive? That is the best episode of Dragon Ball Z history. Besides, you know, the action and the fighting and people dying and, you know, Kamehamehas and Final Flashes. Besides all that shit, that is the best of the best. And this is obviously not as good as that, but it's right up there. It's so freaking good. And when you look at it in retrospect, it's pretty much two sections. The first section of this episode is a very Goku-oriented episode. It's pretty much Goku after the events of his fight with Hit and his whole Super Saiyan Blue combined with Kaioken times 10. His ki is in flux. It's out of whack. He's pretty much having a very Spider-Man 2 kind of moment in his life. Granted, it's a filler episode, so I'm pretty sure that once we get into more canon episodes, it will be just an irrelevant kind of story point. But regardless of any of that, it was cool to have that, and very comedic and hilarious to see those kind of moments, especially when Goku's like trying to instant transmission and he's like ending up in various different places. Like first he ends up, you know, freaking landing in freaking Bulma's house, catching Bulma naked as always. Good little, you know, nod to like Dragon Ball moments. And then going to freaking Krillin's place, or job rather, and then freaking Yajirobe. And then we got to see a little glimpse of Arali, which kind of depressed me because I really wanted, I mean, like, if I can backpedal for a second, I really wish we could have saw more of her. And also I wish we could have had like maybe an updated design of hers. but we didn't really get that, which is kind of sad. So, and she was only in there for like a split second, which is also very depressing, but it is what it is. Hopefully they don't fuck up on the next reprisal character they're bringing back, but of course I'll get to that in the later half of this review. But that being said, of course he ends up, of course, at King Kai's, and then comes back home and pretty much destroys his entire house, which is hilarious. The reactions are priceless, and of course that leads up and transitions into the second half of the episode, which is a very Pan episode. And if I've learned anything from Pan in all of Dragon Ball, she has a lot of promise. She has a lot of potential. She is the character that could bring the female race, or the female gender of Dragon Ball from the brink and put them at the forefront. And has she been able to fulfill that? Not really. GT kind of shitted on that idea because it was more or less a Goku-oriented freaking series. However, if this episode does anything, it pretty much shows us that at least Pan could possibly be something. Because as the episode goes on, we get to see a lot of really cool things from Pan. Pan's flying, she's using ki, she's freaking going to space, she's flying around with the stars, she's doing a lot of crazy stuff. Granted, once again, it is a filler episode, so not everything will be canon or will be added into the official story arcs, especially once you see the manga and what have you. But regardless of any of that, Pan, at least by the end of the series, or by the end of like whatever the hell happens after Super, she better become a Super Saiyan, or a Super Saiyan God, or Super Saiyan Blue, or whatever the fuck Toriyama wants to draw and design, like in the next story arcs or whatever. She needs to become that. Because this episode pretty much says to me, as a fan, looking from the outside in, that she must be, or it could be, the strongest female character of all time in the future, and she pretty much has more potential than Gohan ever did. And Gohan, as a kid, he was OP almost as a kid. So if you put that in perspective to Pan and what she does as a baby, oh my god, she needs to freaking be a Super Saiyan the second she becomes like fucking 2 or something. So it is what it is. I hope we can see more from that. But granted, once again, it is a filler episode, so we cannot really expect too much from Pan, granted. But with that being said, pretty much I love this episode. It was a pretty freaking awesome comedic episode. I loved the Goku family stuff. Goku and Piccolo together doing stuff in filler episode is always gold. Them babysitting Pan. I mean, granted, you know, if this episode does anything, it does show us that Pan could do a lot of great things in the future. But if it also does another thing, it also gives us one other big statement to keep in mind, which is A, nobody in the Dragon Ball universe is a good parent. I don't care what anybody says. You can continue to make the multiple topic videos on YouTube as much as you want, but it's irrelevant because no one in freaking Dragon Ball is a good parent except for one, and that is Piccolo. Piccolo is the ultimate babysitter. He's the ultimate parent. He is Mr. Mom. That aside, this episode was awesome. Goku was hilarious. I love the Goku Chi-Chi moments. Nobody loves it, and that's what makes it even funner, or more entertaining to me. It's like, yeah, you hate it? Well, I love it even more. That's kind of how I feel about this episode. Everybody else, even the little cameos with Vegeta and Bulma was awesome. Yajirobe, it was cool to see him and Korin again. Arali, it was really nice to see her, even though I wish we could have saw more of her, and, I don't know, had some kind of, you know, legitimacy to her cameo, but it is just a cameo, so it is what it is. But overall, and Pan doing some kick-ass shit was awesome. And also, another thing to take away from the episode is the Pilaf Gang stuff. I know a lot of people are very iffy or 50-50 with the Pilaf Gang. I want to know, like, does anybody really care if the Pilaf Gang continue to be a part of Super? And another big question is, why does Toriyama or Toei Animation continue to bring these characters back if no one cares? Because I find myself, you know, discovering that not really a lot of people care that the Pilaf Gang are a part of Super, or at least a part of this story. So, you know, even far back as Battle of Gods, you know, so that's a real big question that I really want to see, you know, who can answer it. So, but at the end of the day, this was a freaking awesome episode. Of course, you can nitpick the living crap out of this episode, like, why is that, like, why is Goku having a problem? Like, Kaioken never fucked him up that way before, or, you know, like, the animation, what up with that animation? It's like, it is what it is. Those are super easy things to nitpick and really show as negatives. But for me, I had a ball with this episode. It was fillerific as all hell, and I loved every moment of it. And of course, Piccolo, he's Michael Keaton. He's Mr. Mom. It's freaking awesome. Pan, come on, she needs to be a Super Saiyan. If she's not a Super Saiyan by the next saga, I'm going to be angry. But with that being said, final verdict for this episode is a solid 8 out of 10. I freaking loved this episode. It was so freaking awesome. Give me more Son Goku family moments, at least just for me. A lot of people will bitch and moan about it. I don't care. Give it to me. I want that shit. I want to see more of it. But I hope that didn't really sound too overly sexual, but it is what it is. But throwing that aside, of course, let me get into the next bit of news that I really want to mention before I end this video, which of course is the next story arc. Apparently, Toriyama and even Torotaro were discussing the next new saga that will be coming to Dragon Ball Super in June, which is of course next month. That is the Future Trunks saga. Yes, Future Trunks is coming back to Super. I was originally going to make a solo vlog video discussing this, but I thought it would just be pointless, so I just add it to the Super review, and I'm freaking stoked. I cannot wait. I mean, like, a lot of us were speculating and rumoring, rumors were going all over the place, like, oh, Trunks is coming back, Trunks is coming back, and now that it's official and we've seen designs and shit from Toriyama and Torotaro, fuck, I cannot wait. I want to see Future Trunks come back and kick some ass. I'm fully, on board with this idea. Granted, will it make sense? Will it have the same impact or the same dramatic, compelling story the same way it did in Z? I find it doubtful, but you never know. I mean, like, Toriyama, this is an original story by him, that he's adding to the Super series, so I can't wait. Hopefully it's freaking phenomenal. But with that being said, if I also can comment and give my personal 2 cents on the designs of Future Trunks and how he looks now, it's alright. I would have liked something a little bit more, interesting. He basically looks like just a tad, older than... He basically looks the same he did when he was first introduced to Dragon Ball Z, so there's not really that much of a big difference, with the exception of 2 things that really annoy me, which is, number 1, the scarf. I don't like the scarf that he's wearing. I feel like that's too resembling to Android 17. I mean, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would Future Trunks wear, like, some form of clothing apparel to his outfit of a character that he despises and basically killed everyone he loves? That just doesn't make any sense to me. So, that really annoys me. And also, the fact that Future Trunks has blue hair. I mean, like, granted, Poma has blue hair in the anime, but you have to keep in mind that Trunks has freaking purple hair in both manga and anime. So, hopefully, once they, start pumping out episodes of the Future Trunks saga with actually Future Trunks in the episodes, hopefully they color correct this and, make it that he freaking has purple hair. I'm just saying, if he has, like, blue hair, I'm gonna freak out and start kicking ass. But we'll see what happens. Overall, I'm still stoked. I'm not happy with the new design of Future Trunks, but I can't wait to see what he's been up to, and what is this Black Goku? What is that all about? Is it an Evo Goku? What's happened in his, timeline that causes him to come back over here? So I cannot wait to see what happens. But let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. Let me know what you personally think about this episode. What's your personal thoughts on the first part with Goku and his ki? What do you think about Pan? And of course, your expectations and personal thoughts with the Future Trunks saga that will be coming up in June. But with that being said, and done, I hope you guys enjoyed. Shameless plug time. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh12. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. And hope you guys enjoyed. And this has been Josh12.